Hi everybody, it's Keith Couch with Rush Truck Centers in Greeley, Colorado. We have one of the last 2024 Peterbilt 389's. It's not the last, but it will be one of the last that we'll probably see through Greeley here. 389 extended hood, got the Ultra Cab and Ultra Sleeper, 78-inch sleeper. Seminole paint job, which is a very old school 50s paint job on this in black and gray. I think it's black and gunmetal. If you start out front on this, the traditional look is the chrome surround with a stainless steel grill, and it is stainless steel, unlike a lot of other manufacturers where the grill is plastic or chromed plastic. This will keep animals out of your radiator. It does help. 13.2 steer axle. This one is spring ride. One thing we do offer is air ride steer axles. It reduces the noise, vibration, and harshness. And probably the biggest benefit to that is a lot of guys say it doubles their steer tire life, or it gives them a lot more. We've heard up to double. 11R 24.5 Michelin tires. Got the Peterbilt ovals. On this one, you can get the round hole as well. A lot of guys like the round hole because they can move them from truck to truck or a trailer or anything like that. All the air tanks here are polished. One thing that this truck's going to be replaced by what they call a 589. The 389 always had the external air breathers. That was one thing we talked to Peterbilt about and said we got to keep the external air breathers because the 589 cab is much wider. So next year when we were selling 589s, these will be still be external air breathers, unlike the W990 Kenworth where they took those off. It looks much better with the external air breathers. Aero mirrors. I like the old traditional mirrors. I like the look of them, but these are much more functional. Much less vibration, much less noise, just much nicer mirror, much more functional mirror. Got a large def tank with the polished cover on it. One thing you see on this truck that you don't normally see is 4 straps per tank. Usually you only see 2. So that's kind of a nice touch on this. Just a little custom touch. 13.2 steer axle. And if you look at the truck, this is a 302-inch wheelbase, and it doesn't look like it. Part of it is the tall rubber. And I also put an 11R 24.5 on the pusher axle. It will not stay there. They'll replace it with a 22.5 low pro or pull the tire off and put a low pro 24.5 tire on it. It's just cheaper. It's a little trick we use to buy tires and wheels because they're cheaper to buy them from Peterbilt because they buy in such quantity. This one has the S-bar bunk heater. You can see the little exhaust tube right here. And that uses about a cup of diesel an hour. So it's very efficient to keep the bunk warm. Outboard mounted fifth wheel. That's just something that we do a little bit differently here in Greeley. If you have to remove this for any reason or move it forward or back, makes it much easier to do. Peterbilt low air leaf suspension. It's a 4-bag system. 336 gears and full lockers. So you can lock this axle, and you have your inner axle diff lock. So you've got power at all points. The advantage to that is snow and ice like we deal with out here in the mountains. But more often than not, guys use it to just get under trailers. They don't get enough traction, there's snow or ice, and they just can't get underneath that trailer. That really helps with that. Air up, air down lift axle. This side, we've got, again, 4 straps per tank. This is a 150-gallon tank, but you see we've got a bulkhead right here, got 100 gallons here and 50 gallons here. We put that forward. This truck will be running a PTO, so we can plumb into that. And this is your hydraulic tank. This is your diesel, and you can make that decision. Some guys want their hydraulic back and the diesel up front, but this puts it right real close to the PTO. All polished after treatment. Take a quick look under the hood. Call this the hot side of the engine. Your turbo. It's a Cummins X15, 565, 2050 torque. And again, a spring ride steer axle. One thing we do here in Greeley, we always add 2 extra top of cab lights, and then we make them all clear. That's kind of our standard thing, and then we'll throw a train horn on underneath. We don't do a lot of trucks with air horns on the cab unless you want them. This one's got the PACCAR fuel filter, and we've got remote lube as well. The advantage to remote lube is you can just lube everything from here. The disadvantage is the mechanic or the driver isn't crawling under the truck and looking at things. So that kind of has an advantage and a disadvantage. Shut the hood here. And with that, this is kind of the last you're going to see of these, which is kind of sad, but people did this with the 379 when it went away. And they went to the 389. They didn't like that. I think the 589 is going to be a fantastic truck, but this is going to be one of the last of the 389s. So with that, thanks for watching. It's Keith Couch with Rush Truck Centers, Greeley, Colorado, 970-691-3877. Thank you.